I had a subscriber comment on my video. He said that a friend of his made a God mode account for the purpose of seeing what happens when you finish soul raids. I don't know if it's a friend or himself, and I don't know if that was really the purpose of the account, but nevertheless, we got some information out of that, and the conclusion of that is the fact
this is the future.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, Sigvalogrim here, and today I wanted to sit back, relax and talk a little bit about a topic that I consider to be an interesting one, and that is raids versus soul raids. Which one is the better game mode, which one is the more entertaining game mode, and which one, in my personal opinion, is my favorite. Keep in mind that this video, even more than most of the videos, is just my personal opinion. If you have a different opinion, feel free to let me know down below. And yeah, with all that being said, I would really appreciate you subscribe if you enjoy the content. A huge percentage of you are not subscribed, and it only takes one click and we can always change your mind. So, starting off in the raids versus soul raids video, we are going to talk about the gameplay. First of all, the gameplay is going to be more linear in normal raids, because in normal raids you got some fights, some harder, some easier, but they're going to be the same fights every single time you tune in. Nothing's gonna change. The AI might act a little bit weird one day and act a little different the other way, but for the most part it's going to be the same fights against the same bosses that you're going to fight. And in soul raids it's a little bit of a more unexpected gameplay, because first of all there's many more bosses to get used to, and at the same time you don't get to play the same boss that often, since once you finish one boss it will be a long time until you get to play it again. For the most part, I think raids are a little bit more difficult in soul raids, because in soul raids the difficulty is given by the fact that you are doing it alone, and in normal raids it seems far easier because you got a team to carry you behind you. But when it comes to how difficult it actually is to execute those things, I find in raids much more difficult because of the fact that, yeah, you can argue that soul raids normal difficulty, if you have no apocalypse artifacts, is going to be harder than normal raids. But once you reach the heroic 1 difficulty in terms of soul raids, then you're going to have a firebox, and you're most likely to have it upgraded at level 2, maybe level 3 if you open some chests, and that will provide you with a lot of health, and that health leaves you with a lot of room for mistake. While in normal raids, for the most part, in most fights, all the damage dealers are going to use the Oblades, a thing that does not only not provide any survivability tools to them, but even further than that is going to damage them each time they tag in. So one mistake means death. In terms of soul raids, one mistake does not mean death, because you'll have a huge amount of health to back you up from the artifacts. The tag-ins fails are frustrating in the both of them. In soul raids, it happens a little bit more often than in normal raids. It might get fixed in the future, it might not. It was the same issue with Champions Arena when they introduced it, with tag-ins fail when they shouldn't have fail. But I don't know if they'll fix it with soul raids. But how the situation is right now basically is that in soul raids, the tag-ins fail much more than in normal raids, but at the same time, in normal raids, it is going to be much more frustrating when a tag-in fails, because in normal raids, it's most likely going to mean the death of your character, while in soul raids, it's not going to mean the death of your character, it's just going to be a frustrating experience overall. But yeah, overall, my conclusion on the gameplay: I enjoy more the normal raids experience, because it's more linear experience. At times it's harder, but a type of hard that you can expect, a type of hard that you get used to, and something that you can practice on and on again. In this one you can kind of have perfect fights. In soul raids you can sometimes have perfect fights, but in normal raids it's very satisfying to have a perfect fight, because you know that if you did one mistake the fight would have been over. So I do enjoy the gameplay more in normal raids, and I think normal raids would be more difficult than soul raids if it was not for the team aspect. And the team aspect is the thing that would lead you to think that normal raids are more easy, because it's simply no pressure put on you. Now let's move on to the rewards when it comes to those two game modes. So next, let's start with the bottom. The rewards for soul raids normal difficulty are going to be far better than the rewards for raids, if you want to make that comparison. Soul raids normal is going to give you a huge amount of rewards plus gems on top of that. It's not going to be very hard to complete, and it's going to fill your account with rewards. even good or bad, and from that perspective it will be far better than normal rates. But if we still move up, maybe you could argue that Heroic 1 still is better than normal rates in terms of rewards, because you finish it quite fast. You lose the aspect of gems, but you finish it in a reasonable amount of time at the very least. But the problem with soul rates is the fact that as you go up in the soul rates is going to get harder and harder, and it's going to be harder to get those rewards. And they don't seem to branch up in terms of their quality as you progress, because they only increase the number of resources that you get, but you still get random characters and random artifacts, and it can be very frustrating when getting one of those. And when it comes to the soul rate rewards, they are not endless. Well, they are in theory endless. And by the way, I had a subscriber comment on my video. He said that a friend of his made a God mode account for the purpose of seeing what happens when you finish soul rates. I don't know if it's a friend or himself, and I don't know if that was really the purpose of the account, but nevertheless, we got some information out of that, and the conclusion of that is the fact that if you finish the last tier of soul rates, that tier is simply going to reset and you're going to play that tier over and over again. You're not going to start the rates from the bottom, and that's unfortunate because you're missing a lot of gems. You're going to repeat again and again the last tier. And the rewards on the last tier are going to be good, not gonna lie, but it's most likely going to take a lot of time. Just think about the fact that so far nobody with a non-God mode account has reached that tier. As far as I know, okay? I'm not accusing anybody who reached last tier of normal rates to be a God mode user. I'm just saying that I'm not aware of anybody who did reach that far without a God mode account. And that's really the problem. At first glance, the rewards of the soul rates seem better, but it gets harder and harder to get them, while the rewards of normal rates are going to be more constant. You get them once every 3 days. They are not going to depend on your performance. They do depend on your performance, but even if you play like crap, you're still going to get something out of it. And on top of that, it's going to be less frustrating, because if you get this rate something crap, it's okay. Next one, you'll get probably something crap again, but next one, something crap again, but the one after next one you'll get something good probably, and it's okay, because even if you get 4 gears for something and shards for something, it's okay, or 3 years for something and shards for something, it's okay, because you know that next raid you're going to most likely get something better. With soul rates, it's much harder because the progress is so slow, and you know that you only get one shot for those easier difficulties, and the continuation of it and the harder brackets of it are going to be hell to go through in order to just find yourself in the face of some crap rewards. And the last section is going to be the good time, and I think the fact that the normal raid event is a team game is going to be a very big factor in this one. I do enjoy much more raids. I enjoy much more raids because, first of all, there's no huge pressure on you. I mean, there is some sort of pressure on you. There is pressure on you to some extent, but not to the extent that the soul raids put it, especially with the timer added. You need to finish as fast as possible. Time is going to reset. You got a limited amount. What you don't finish will disappear. With normal raids, it's not that huge of a pressure. It's a teamwork effect. It's good to kind of interact with people. It's good to form communities around it. And at the same time, it's going to be a pretty decent place to try new teams and try new stuff and learn to play characters. Because if you make any mistake, you're not going to be punished as hard. And yeah, soul raids is just frustrating from the point that the fact that they really have consequences if you make mistakes, and the consequence will be only inflicted upon yourself, and that will be slower progression. So yeah, with all that being said, I do enjoy far more normal raids than soul raids. And that was pretty much it for the video. Got nothing against soul raids. That's a game mode that I really do enjoy, a game mode that I wish will be improved in the future, but for the time being I find much more entertainment in the normal raids. So yeah, with all that being said, I'll see you in the next one.